Welcome to the Philantrepreneur Show, hosted by Dr. Victoria Boyd, designed to offer tips, strategies, and insight to empower nonprofits and entrepreneurs with sustainable win-win solutions. The Philantrepreneur Show is sponsored by the Philantrepreneur Foundation, building capacity through education and professional services.
And the Philantrepreneur Show is brought to you by the Galaxy Group, LLC, providing entrepreneurs and nonprofits the specialized training, mentoring, and resources needed to successfully make their vision a reality, building strong foundations for the future. For more information, visit www.thegalaxygrouplv.com, building strong foundations for the future.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our very first Philantrepreneur Show. This is Heidi Anderson, founder of the Credit Cares Division of Electronic Commerce International, and my wonderful co-host, Dr. Victoria Boyd of the Galaxy Group, and we are thrilled to bring the Philantrepreneur Show to you. For our first show, we thought it would be fun to share who we are, how we met and came to do the show together, and the purpose and content of the show. Victoria, as a co-host, tell our listeners a little about yourself. What are you up to these days?
Hi, Heidi. Thank you so much. I am so pleased to be your co-host on the Philantrepreneur Show. There I go, flubbing the name already, but we're going to get it. A little about me. I've been the founder and president of the Galaxy Group since about 1995, and during that time, it has evolved to be the parent company of 3 different divisions focusing on content-specific support. I'm a trainer, and I love training people. The divisions include, first, just small business and entrepreneurial development. I help those visions and come to life. The second is all levels of nonprofit support, training, consulting, development, and then finally, third, providing access to resources needed by both entrepreneurs and nonprofits. And I also teach nonprofit management at UNLV here in Las Vegas in the certification program. So quite busy here.
Yeah, well, Victoria, you do so much. I remember you told me your background was a dance educator. You're actually a public school teacher. How does dance, business, nonprofits, how does all this work together?
Well, as a dance educator, I taught dance for 28 years in the public school system. And in working in the arts, you always are raising funds. You're working to help support costumes and the students and everything. We went on trips and performances, so we always need additional funding. I learned fundraising, I'll say the grassroots way, but also I was involved in the nonprofit sector for over 30-some years. I've been president, I've been executive directors, I've been on local, national, regional boards. I've worked on all different levels of nonprofit management. So that's how that expertise and skills came together. So then business-wise, I had my own company. After retiring, I was asking myself, what am I going to do? What's next for me? And with the Galaxy Group, which I had formed several years ago, it evolved into my own entrepreneurial adventure and journey. So I really learned aspects of developing small business and what is needed. And they were so similar and in alignment to the nonprofit sector, the management and business there, it was just a perfect fit. So it just came together that my expertise is training in both small business and nonprofits.
Okay, and on top of all that, you've also written a book. Why don't you tell us about, the title is The Wealthy Teacher. That's an interesting title. What does that mean?
Isn't that an oxymoron? You know, being an educator, no, we are not wealthy by far. So, but the full title is The Wealthy Teacher, Answering the Question, What's Next? And as I was alluding to, that after I finished my education career, I was asking myself, what's next? What am I going to do? What should I, live for these rest of the years? What do I want to do? And so it evolved into me writing a book helping people say and answer what's next. And I believe you should live your life on purpose. So I talk about going back to your core values, your passion, because I did that. I went back. I love to train people, and it is the foundation to help create a business format. So with the Wealthy Teacher, I have people look at their passion and core and then guide them if they want to create a business format, help them launch a business. So I'm really excited about that. It's available on all of the major online outlets. Right now, you can go and order the Wealthy Teacher at all of the outlets. I'm excited.
Well, that is wonderful. I mean, what a great idea for a book, because I can't even imagine being retired. You know, it's and to go, now what do I do with myself? I would be doing the same thing, and I think that will be a really valuable resource for people who are searching themselves for that answer. And then on top of all that, and one more thing, you actually coined the word philantrepreneur. How did you come up with that?
Well, working in both the business and nonprofit sector, and I had a short stint as a corporate relations representative where I was doing corporate sponsorships and looking at and exploring how businesses work with nonprofits. What does that mean to both the business sector and to the nonprofit? And it has evolved. It used to be really called cause marketing, but it evolved where it's now talking about meaningful marketing and impact investing. And as I was talking to entrepreneurs, looking at, okay, they're talking about their passion, but many of them couldn't decide if they wanted to be a business owner or a nonprofit. And the term philantrepreneur really evolved because so much of the entrepreneurial spirit needs to be infused into nonprofits, and entrepreneurs need to have more philanthropy in the structure of their business. And so I just pulled the two terms together, philanthropy and entrepreneur, and I'm emphasizing more of the entrepreneurial part. And I wrote a blog about it back in February, and now if you Google it, it just sort of pops up as I'm the one that coined that phrase. So I'm going to claim it because people understand what we're talking about immediately. So, I mean,
I think it's a word we'll be adding.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I think that's a word that we'll be adding to the dictionary for permanently.
Right.
And
yes, Webster will pick it up. Absolutely. But enough about me. I want our listeners to learn more about you and what your background is.
Okay, well, thank you, Victoria. Since 2002, I've been the president and CFO of Electronic Commerce International. It's a business my husband and I started together, and it's a merchant service provider. We actually help businesses get paid by their customers by accepting credit cards. And we also have other services that help them grow their business by offering working capital loans and cash advances and marketing solutions, and also ways to retain their customers as in gift and loyalty programs. A couple of years ago, I had a really profound vision to create ranches for at-risk kids aging out of the foster care program so they don't become homeless and imprisoned. That vision, which I am still working toward, led me to create credit cares to help nonprofits raise money and save money using the services we provide at ECI. And I agree with you that all businesses should bring more philanthropy to their business. It's all about bringing your heart to your business and being of service.
Absolutely. You know, it's crazy. I mean, it can be of such value if the two work together. They really can move forward. And so I put a post on Facebook. And why did you respond to that post?
Well, it's because this is how we met, and it's just such a great story. I just love this story. Your post asked, do you have a product or service that startup companies or nonprofits need? Would you like consistent exposure and access to this audience? Then we need to talk. When I saw this post, I thought, oh my gosh, that is exactly what my business does, and that is exactly the exposure I need. So I was, I think, the first person to respond with a pretty eager yes, I want to work with you. And So, and this led to our having that wonderful lunch together where we just talked and laughed and we had so much fun, and we were so animated that the servers thought we were old best friends who hadn't seen each other forever when we had actually just met.
Exactly, and especially because, I was helping nonprofits, and exactly how does Credit Care help businesses and nonprofits to create those win-win-win? We're emphasizing win relationships. Tell us more about Credit Care.
And it is win-win-win because the business offering the services wins, the nonprofits win, but also all the people that both of those companies serve, the nonprofit and the for-profit, win from their working together. And so Credit Cares was created for two reasons. First, to reduce the cost of credit card processing for nonprofit organizations and help them raise much-needed funds for their cause. And second, a way for businesses that contribute or desire to contribute to their favorite charity or school, they can do so without affecting their bottom line. The way this works is we will establish a merchant account for nonprofit organizations at our cost. Credit Cares will make no profit on nonprofits, so they can put more of their donation money to work benefiting their cause. We also assist the nonprofit organization in contacting businesses that already donate to their cause or would like to donate to let them know that by opening a merchant account with or switching their processing to ECI through our Credit Cares program, a percentage of the profit from their processing will be donated to the nonprofit that referred them. This could mean thousands of dollars in new funds for the nonprofit without costing the merchant an additional cent. The merchant will pay no more and often less than they were already paying for their credit card processing, and they can be proud to tell their customers that they are supporting a worthy cause in the community with every credit card sale they make.
Wow, that's a phenomenal idea. Wow, okay. It's benefiting everyone. So how did you end up creating Blog Talk Radio Show, this Philantrepreneur Show? Here we are in our premiere. How did you do that?
Right. A couple of weeks after I met you, I was talking to Teresa de Grosbois. She's the founder of a group I just joined called the Evolutionary Business Council, about how to best get the message out about nonprofits and for-profits supporting each other to create these win-win-win relationships. And she suggested I create a Blog Talk radio show. Of course, I knew nothing about creating a radio show, so I went to the Blog Talk radio site and started figuring out how to set up a show. And I had no idea what to call it.
Oh, my goodness.
So initially, I gave it.
You.
Huh? What? I can hear me. What? Radio show?
Yes, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you, so I'm hoping that our show was heard by our listeners.
I'm sorry. I hope I'm still on there. I don't know. Anyway, I had no idea what to. Am I there?
Yes, you are. Yes, keep going.
Okay, I forgot what to call it initially, so I gave it a working title of Nonprofits, For-Profits, Win-Win-Win, and which I thought sounded silly, but it was all I could come up with, and I needed a name. And then while I was doing this, your media kit happened to be sitting right next to my computer on the table where I was working on my computer, and I thought, well, maybe I can call Victoria, and she'll be my first guest. So I picked up the phone, and I called you and was telling you about my show idea, and I was so excited. And instead of asking you to be my first guest, I found myself asking you to be my co-host, and you said yes. And then you told me you'd been planning to do a show. So tell our audience about that and how you came up with the perfect name for our show.
Well, I had written the blog, like I said, way back in February about the Philantrepreneur and talked about it. I have a section on my drvictoriaboyd.com website about Philantrepreneur. And in my business strategies, marketing, just like you were recommended to do, I was going to do a radio show. And I had even reached out to a few guests to consider as, some of my first guests. So I was creating the strategies. It's just so many things were on my plate with launching a brand new book and new training. The radio show had sort of been pushed to the back. Taking it on by yourself is a lot of responsibility. But when you mentioned it, I was like, oh, my God, a co-host. It will make things easier. I can actually do this. And the Philantrepreneur term, just sort of fit because as you were talking about what the show was about, it just popped in my head. Well, I talk about the Philantrepreneur. And you were like, it's perfect. It's perfect. So here we are with the Philantrepreneur Show, getting ready to take this journey together. We're going to be providing tips, strategies, things that will help grow not only entrepreneurs and nonprofits, but also how they can benefit by working together. I mean, the universe made this happen for us. It was their plan. Like you said, you were going to ask me to be a guest, but out of your mouth fell host. So it is the universe at work for us.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even know you were previously thinking about having a show, and you mentioned that when you were thinking about that, you had already talked to a few people about being guests. So I'd like to talk about some of the guests we have lined up. I'm super excited about our first guest, September 18th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. The very first known philantrepreneur is John Carr of the Charitable Giving Foundation. John and Donna Carr started the Charitable Giving Foundation back in 1974. I was just a little kid. Well, okay, maybe a teenager.
Well, I wish I could say that, but...
and together they pioneered the first known transaction of cause marketing by engaging charities and businesses to support one another. So I thought he would be the perfect first guest for our Philantrepreneur Show.
Absolutely.
And then another purpose for our show is to bring valuable resources to our audience. So, Victoria, do you want to talk about Diane Conklin?
Absolutely. Diane is out of Atlanta, Georgia, and we both know her. And that was what's so amazing when we sat down and talked. All of the people that we knew simultaneously, and yet we had never met. But Diane has complete marketing systems, and both nonprofits and entrepreneurs really need the support of marketing systems, how they work. And so she will bring some of her 5 key tips for marketing, but also she's a philantrepreneur. She started the Diane Conklin Foundation, and she's going to be talking about why she felt it was necessary, how it fits into her business model, and bring forth some tips and strategies that we hope our listeners will be able to walk away and use. So who's up next, Heidi?
Well, we will also be interviewing Kent Seaton. He's a principal of Seaton Law Group, and he's a nonprofit attorney who can give our listeners some great insight into the legal aspects of nonprofits and for-profits working together. There's some different language and some different things that you really need to know when you are combining those two things, and I think he can help shed a good light on that. And then we have Sharita Herring. She's a global business, nonprofit, and grant strategist, and she can bring our listeners suggestions about best practices for creating and managing a nonprofit and how to bring funds into the nonprofit through grants. And then we're also blessed to have our second guest, October 2nd. Her name is Susan Dane Satine, and she has an organization called Smart Women International. Susan teaches women around the world how to do what they most love, grow business revenues, and further a worthy cause all at once. So, and then, Victoria, why don't you tell us about Brian Thornton?
I've lost your sound again there. I don't know what's going on, Heidi.
I don't either. Did you hear me say to talk about Brian Thornton?
Yes, let me talk about Brian. We're going to have to find out what these technical glitches are. We want to make this valuable. Yes, Brian G. Thornton Designs, LLC. Brian is a industrial/commercial interior designer and architect. He was one of the leading directors when they were building the huge city center here. And so he was the director of the design center as they're building the new casinos and the hotel systems. Back when the recession came, 2009, the facilities ended up closing those designs because they were cutting back on a lot of the building. And so a lot of his colleagues, architects, interior designers, found themselves without jobs. And so what he did was create a group called Design Minds. And it was strictly first to support one of each other in their field, to help find work and things like that. But then what they ended up doing was creating a cause or supporting a cause every meeting, because they still meet every month. And so each month they identified a cause that they're going to support. Even though they came together because they were in need, they have now transferred that into supporting others in need. And I just love the concept and how it came together. And he's a fascinating person. He travels the world with his designs. So what about our October 16th guest? Oh, he's going to be fascinating. So tell us about Sir Chef Bruno Serrato.
Yes, we will have a real night on our show on October 16th.
Wow.
Chef, I know, he's such a wonderful, warm, just lovely man, and he's the owner of award-winning restaurant Anaheim White House. And he's the founder of life-changing charity Katarina's Club that feeds 500 kids every night in Anaheim who would otherwise go without eating. They call them hotel kids. They live in, they're basically, their families are somewhat homeless or, going from hotel to hotel, and they don't get to eat very often. And so he has fed, I think, like 500,000 kids over the last 8 years. And because of this service, President Giorgio Napolitano of Italy has bestowed upon him the honor of a night.
Whoa,
and why don't you tell us about
that?
I know, isn't that cool?
Yeah. I mean, if it were live TV, would we have to bow down and or do something
kiss
special?
His ring, yes.
Yeah, I know.
So tell us about Dr. Craig Brown.
Dr. Craig Brown is out of Houston, Texas, so everyone sees. I mean, our shows are going to be international, but he is a techie. He calls himself a techpreneur, but also with his technology and being senior partner and CEO of the Sim Resource Partners, he founded his own nonprofit also because he went through some life challenges. And many times it is a catalyst like that where you go through your own life changes that make you want to give back, or you start realizing that you need to live on purpose again. So once again, that terminology is coming up. So he'll be an interesting guest because he's bringing a highly technical science and things like that to the conversation, but yet the soft cause-related element that we are so much promoting with our show, the Philantrepreneur Show. It's going to be exciting. I mean, our guest list is really filling up fast, and if others want to get in, they better contact us soon. That's for sure.
That's right. I mean, if you feel like you are a philantrepreneur, or if you know somebody you think would be a good fit for our show, please feel free to contact us and send us that information. Once again, I just really have to say how blessed I feel to have Victoria as my co-host. I had no clue what I was doing, and Victoria brought not only experience, but she jumped right in with the planning, and she even created the graphics for the show, which I was just so impressed. And Victoria is also, at the same time, as she's doing all of this, she's created the Philantrepreneur magazine. So you want to tell us about the magazine, Victoria?
Right. Once we decided that the Philantrepreneur was going to be the title, and it truly encapsulates what we're about. It really is a great term. Why not create other resources under that umbrella? So there is the Philantrepreneur magazine, which will have more tips and strategies. It will be a digital format so that you can access it anytime. There'll be a resource hub with a lot of products and services that you need. So if you want to get in that magazine and be seen by entrepreneurs and nonprofits, please reach out and contact us. But once again, it's as a service. And so we have the radio show for our communication. We have the Philantrepreneur magazine in terms of resources and things that we're doing. And then also on the website, we're going to have training. So visit the website, which will have all of this. It'll launch just a few days ago to coincide with the radio show, and that's www.thephilantrepreneur.com. And you will find not only our show lineup, there's a full calendar where you can read about all that. Pretty soon you're going to have your co-host bios and things up there. We're working on it. There's the radio show, how to contact us for the magazine, how to and what things are listed underneath the institute, the training. Just a lot of things are on that website. To be seen, not only on the radio show, but in the magazine, yes, we offer sponsorships and ads, and we would love to have you be featured, just like we introduced our companies. You can sponsor a show and be a part of the conversation that we're having here on the Philantrepreneur Show. I'm just so exciting. It's just exciting to get things going.
Yeah. It really is, and as you mentioned, it's going to be international. So if I've got a couple of people in mind in Canada that I'm talking to that hopefully we can get on the show. But I believe you said you have somebody even on Australia.
Right. When my book went live,
yeah.
I mean, on the website, I was called from a group from Australia. They interviewed me about the wealthy teacher, and eventually we'll probably do a show on how that connects. I have contact and actually a person that did one of my endorsements. She's from New Zealand. She's called me and said she loves the term the philantrepreneur. So almost right out the gate, we are an international radio show. How about that? It's amazing.
This is going to be so much fun, and it would be such a just fun for us to do, and I hope a lot of fun for our listeners to
yes.
listen to and get.
We're really looking for new guests. If they go to the website, www.thephilantrepreneur.com, right on that site there's an application or where they can put in their information and say, I want to be a guest on your show. We're trying to make it as easy as possible. It's right on the main page, and we'll send out a questionnaire asking you, what are some of your expertise in terms of how do you feel you're an entrepreneur. The more insight, the more range of people we bring, it's going to be fantastic. So contact us. That's what we want to hear from our fellow entrepreneurs out there in radio land.
Fellow Phil entrepreneurs. So
it's amazing.
Right.
So have you had fun today, Heidi? I hope everyone enjoyed all of our explanations.
Yes, this will be wonderful, and I've really enjoyed being on the show with you today, and really want to encourage people to come back on September 18th at 8 a.m. Pacific time to hear John Carr talk about the Charitable Giving Foundation. And that's it for now. See you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you for tuning in to the Philantrepreneur Radio Show, hosted by Dr. Victoria Boyd. Get involved. Follow us on Facebook and other social media outlets. If you wish to share comments or suggestions or appear as a guest on our show, visit www.thephilantrepreneur.com. Contact Victoria Boyd. Email her at theboyd@thephilantrepreneur.com. The Philantrepreneur Radio Show is a production of and sponsored by the Philantrepreneur Foundation, a 501c3 tax-deductible organization.